What's going on, everybody? Welcome back, episode 14 of the walkthrough. So, before we get started, I would like to touch base on last episode. So, last episode was a important one as we picked up a gesture right over here in Bonnie Village, which is going to allow us to have access to this region over here. Without this gesture, you will not have access to that region. We also picked up a really badass shield that lets you like shoot black magic out at people and do guard counters, which will look like this. It won't really do much damage if you use it on your own, but if you just wait for a guard counter, then hit it, it does devastating damage. So that's really cool. We also picked up the Curse Blade summons. Now we're about to move on forward and break our Great Room, Miquella's Great Room. So when you break Miquella's Great Room, you're going to have access to everything on the Cerulean Coast. And that's what we've been after to head down there. But it's also going to change everything with the NPCs. So a charm is going to be lifted, meaning the charm Miquella has over Moore, Onspach, Freya, Letta, Horn Scent, even Dane, it's all going to be lifted. So it's going to pretty much just leave more sad and confused and not know what to do, which will let us go ahead and end his quest to get his gear. You can let his quest play it the long way if you want. I'll teach you how to do that. But ending it early is going to get you his armor now and his shield now. Which would be nice for, like I said, walkthrough perspective as newer players or people that, may be struggling can have access to a really awesome shield. Also, it's going to make Letta feel like she needs to hunt certain of the NPCs down because they're not really true to Miquella. So there's going to be some choices to make and some items to get for everybody. So there's going to be a lot going on. So before we break the Great Room, you want to make sure you have all of the cookbooks for Moore, or at least before we get to Moore and his quest, because whatever cookbook, Forge or Brood cookbook you're missing, you won't be able to get. Forge or Brood aren't going to talk to you anymore after that. But if you notice, we're only missing Forge or Brood Cookbook 6, but we're about to get it right after we break the Great Rune, so it doesn't matter. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. Now, there's only 7 in general, so don't worry about that. Like I said, after we break the Great Rune, we'll grab Cookbook number 6, then we'll deal with the NPC stuff. But that might even just wait till next episode, as we have a lot of little stuff to do in the area we're going. So I'm going to go ahead and get that endurance up to 28. So last time, what bridge did we take? The South Bridge, right? Yeah, last time I took the South Bridge for Bonnie Jail. This time we're going to take the East Bridge to go over here. So as soon as you cross the second little bridge here is the side of Grace. And pretty much as soon as you leave from there, like right here, Great Room breaks. So, like I said, if you have not talked to Dane or done the Monk's Missive quest, you will not be able to have the martial arts weapon. You're going to miss out on it completely. You know what I mean? It's going to fast forward these quests. So anything you have not done, you're permanently locked out of it. So do keep that in mind. That's why I've mentioned it so much, because I don't want anyone to mess that up. You're going to miss curved swords, great shields, armor sets. You're going to miss martial arts combat if you didn't get that done in time. If you didn't get Toleia's Concoction, you'll miss out on incantations and summons. I mean, there's so much going on here, you know? That's why we've covered it, and I suggest everyone follow along. But this is the part, where stuff really picks up, because the Great Room breaks. So you can get those quests up a little bit, but until then, there's just not really anything you could do. Oh, I almost forgot. Yes, we got the Tooth Whip. That's just a dex whip. It doesn't have arcane scaling, but it does do poison damage. So you have to keep that in mind. Just for some lore perspective. So we have found the Oh Mother gesture. So that's obviously, deals with America, and you can listen to this. For pity's sake, your place is in the jar. Not sainthood itself awaits you within. For shamans like you, this is your lot. Life were you accorded for this alone. So, America's people were tortured and put in jars. That's why she had Mesmer burn the Tower Folk. That's kind of why everything happened. America's people were attacked, so she attacked back. I said she's a decent person, but I'm just saying, you can kind of sympathize. So, Great Room breaks right now. Wait for it. So, somewhere a Great Rune has broken, and so too has a powerful charm. So like I said, now everything's going to be different, the NPCs. they're all, you know, got the free will and everything else back. So as you go up the main road, you'll hear the scarab. Look to the right. Now this is Beast Claw Ash of War. You might want to go ahead and get that if you know you want to check out the new weapon types. Now, for the life of me, yeah, I can't really remember anything else here that was on my notes. No, there wasn't. Okay. Now before we get up, oh, we can't do any item crafting while these guys are aggroed. So we need to craft with a bunch of hefty fire pots, guys. Reason being is we have another golem to face. So this golem is just like the one in Charlotte's. You guys are really gonna make me rush? God damn, bro. So this golem is like the one in Charlotte's Hidden Grave. His legs are armored, and the only way to actually cause any damage whatsoever is to fight him from above, throwing pots inside the top of him. But for us, it actually works out quite nicely, as we've actually picked up quite a few now. Should have 7 altogether, and we do. You don't need 7, guys. 4 or 5 ought to do it. Yeah, remember, the more upgrades you have, a lot of these pots actually scale off, like strength and stuff like that. So the more upgrades you have, the more damage you possibly do too. Yeah, so B strength, D, and dex. So you actually do get some damage scaling off of these. Although we don't have the most strength, we do have dex. We get you some skilling, so you'll need less and less pots to take these guys down. I think the first one took us like 5 or 6. This one will take like 4. But we're probably gonna miss a few, so keep that in mind. You gotta take into account the ones you may miss. So just gotta follow this straight. As soon as you get out, you're gonna see him. There's gonna be a spirit spring on your left. Just run up and take that. You have to dodge this bullshit. You know, like let him go ahead and get this first one off. Because another thing is we need him to get as close as possible to the edge. You know, if he can. So we can actually get these shards and kind of circle around. This usually will pause him a bit. Yeah, kind of like stuns him after 2. Oh, did not see you guys. Dodge. Oh, right into it. Yeah, that's what you do. He's already about dead though, so it's not really gonna help him out much. It's like that last one that really does the damage. Right here. And the furnace golem is no more, and you're going to go ahead and get hardly any runes for your trouble. However, you do get the cerulean sapping criteria. Using that in your flask is going to refill your mana and give you some mana every time you kill an enemy. So I noticed that the tiers in the DLC are all pretty build specific, meaning like that one's obviously going to be, you know, good for mages. Then deflect hard tier is going to be like good for melee builds. Then there was the one that eliminates all stamina consumption for 10 seconds. The best use of that, I thought, was like Eleanor's pole blade, because the attacks come out so fast, while you're also doing bleed. You have infinite stamina, you just pop, procking blood loss, something like that. Maybe daggers, whatever weapon's fast. That's how the stamina one would do best, you know. But yeah, they're, in my opinion, they're all pretty much build specific. So after that, if you look right up to this, right where we just killed the first golem, obviously. Right to left. You can see that little cliff. If you look real close, there's a jar pot hanging. So we're going to go ahead and take that down so we can go grab the bell bearing that lets us buy infinite root resin and knot resin. So if you're trying to do a build, you know, with like basic weapon, but you're applying different greases, you don't have to farm that stuff. Like I said, if you want to do a rot build, there's not much options for rot, but there are greases, right? So with these bell bearings, you can buy infinite amount of crafting items for your greases. You don't have to even worry about it, you know? Craft so much rock grease. Yeah, he's okay, guys. He's really annoying me now. Oh, this is a bull. Yeah, so you just pretty much craft infinite, you know, rock grease and do whatever kind of build you want. Any users. See if we got something that'll reach them. You bet, or the scatter probably better. That shit like went right through. Incantations, man. God, they just whack so much. Alright. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're awesome. My favorite thing in the game, damn near, but still. Alright, when you roll down to this tree, probably pretty good to drop. Now that fall is much bigger than you think. If you start dropping right here, you're just dead. It happened to me on the notes. I was like, what the hell? That shit, it doesn't look that far down. But really it is, though. And to be honest, it's going to kill you, you know? So just keep that in mind. So there you go. Grease moggers, bell bearings. As I stated, root resin, not resin. So no more farming that shit. You don't have to go to the catacombs in the base game and farm up a bunch of root resin. Or do whatever you gotta do here for a bunch of not resin. So from here, we're just gonna follow this path straight up. If you have Margaret Shackle or Moog Shackle, you'll be all the better for it. But I do not believe you need it, as I'm going to show you guys how to solve these spirit springs anyways. And I told you guys, we're always going to kind of use that option and teach people that option. But I also have to show everybody how to solve these spirit springs, as, you know, not everybody went to the underground, or not everybody bought Margaret Shackle from patches, so. But it's still a good strategy, and if it helps some people, I'm glad I mentioned it. And now it's just double checking this little back area. I don't really remember anything there. What we're trying to do is just stay in the main road and get up to this tower and go to the right. We're going to pick up something pretty similar to the jar cannon from the main game. I know you guys remember the jar cannon if you found it. I know you did. That's not something you forget. But this is something similar. This is the rabbit's cannon. So like the jar cannon, it's the same exact thing, but it does magic damage. So it's going to be magic and physical. I think it's like a 135 split, something like that. So as you see, this is broken. So you can easily come over here, put on, just to show this off, put on like Moog Shackle. Oh, you can't use it on the horse? And you know, that breaks the spirit spring. However, I'm going to show you guys, and just because I broke it and the rocks aren't there, doesn't mean I can't show you where they were, you know, so it doesn't really matter. But, Rabbit's Rise, you're going to go in here. So if you don't have that item, just go ahead and enter Rabbit's Rise. And when you go up the steps here, there's actually going to be a false wall. It's a pretty obvious one. Oh, it busted the wall down. I didn't realize to do that too. I should have, because that's kind of what the item does. I just wasn't thinking about it. There's a false wall right here. I think it's pretty obvious. You're just going to smack that, and you're going to find the pile of rocks right here on the edge, or the ledge. So after you do that, just drop on down, get on horsey. I'll be able to jump up. It's kind of like Kaled, if you guys remember. I used that spirit spring to jump on in the puzzle tower. So it's very similar to that. So it's exactly what we're doing. Although this jump's much easier, because you can kind of see where you're going. That one you don't see where you're going until you're already about to land. Like I said, Rabbit's Cannon, pretty much just like the jar cannon. But yeah, 135 physical, 135 magic. It shows scaling there, but it doesn't have any scaling. So I don't know what that's about. Maybe that's just a penalty because I don't have 28 strength. So now from there, we just hop back down, and we're going to go ahead and change it to nighttime. There's a larval tier we want to go ahead and pick up. So as you guys see, when we go through to get ready for episodes, I scour this stuff. You know, I go through during the day, go over everything I could possibly find. I go through in the night and do the same thing. So yes, it's possible we're going to miss stuff, but it's just highly unlikely. You know what I mean? So like, if you guys know of anything we're missing in the walkthrough, please let me know. But like I said, it's going to be highly unlikely we're missing much. If we do, it'd probably be something really small, because we really go over and scour this world. We do, day, night, every little corner, which you're about to see here in a second too. So that's your larval tier. Pick that up. Then just from there, you want to go northwest up this hill. This is where we're going to get our 7th and final cookbook. This is the cookbook 6, but it's, you know, our 7th one. You don't get them in order. So up here in the little graveyard, you can fight these guys if you want to, no real reason, but you can grab globe work. Grave globe work 6. And here at the very top in the back corner, you're gonna have another pest bro. You want to go talk to pest bro and get our Forger Brew Cookbook 6. There you go. Dude Jim. This one I like. Yeah, well pickled turtlenecks. They're awesome. I mean, a great boost to stamina recovery speed. Like, you might need that in certain boss fights. Hell, in the very last boss fight, it'd be extremely useful. Now from there, we're about to go over to that little cathedral where, you know, the NPC we need to talk to is. So just slowly work our way downhill. But before we go there, there's one scare we really need to get, especially for mage builds. Not even mage, someone like melee build that's utilizing intelligence. This is what this is more for. So I'm pretty sure it's an Asher Board, not a spell. But so if you stick to the far right side of the cliff here, you know what? To make it easier, we're gonna go back to Church District because I want to make sure it's daytime and everyone can see. I don't want, you know, people missing stuff. Let's go and do that. We're gonna change it back to day. Alrighty. So now that it's daytime, we can all see a little bit. All we're doing is taking this little road here, and we're eventually gonna head for this building. But at first, it kind of veers off to the right, the bottom of the cliff. We're gonna go right about here for a scarab. You're gonna put that marker on your map. Also, after that, we're gonna we'll just probably hop back and take this path again. But before we go in the cathedral, we're gonna kind of do a circle around for some starlight shards and magic consumable. But I will say, you'll also see this door here, and that's pretty much after we're done a full circle, and you're like, oh, let me enter here. And you could enter here and go in and talk to the NPC. However, there's a gate right here, and it can only be unlocked from this entrance, and there's a side of grace above it. And we're going to have to come back here at least 2 or 3 times. So I would make sure you do the full circle and come in the front door, as you won't have access to fast travel. You know, you can go in here and talk to the NPC, but you won't have access to fast travel. So do keep that in mind. I mention this because obviously it happened to me. You know, I was like, oh cool, I don't have to run all the way back around front being lazy. And then I was like, oh shit, I still have to run around the building to go get that side of grace. So, and that's really cool, guys. That's raw ruins over there. That's where, you know, our journey's eventually leading us, and you get to see the floating tower in the sky. And that area sucks. The last Legacy dungeon, when I tell you there's some elite enemies, man, this shit, I'm really trying to go through it right now. I'm about up to it. Gotta find the best way possible to help you guys get through this area, because it's not gonna be fun, I'm telling you right now. There's like a lot of those like crucible dudes, like the horn guys, but they're doing frostbite, and they're doing wind attacks, and they're doing, you name it, lightning. They have all these elemental attacks. They're fucking crazy. They're really, really, really hard. Now you're just gonna work your way to the very bottom, or very back side here. And it's really hard to angle here, but if you have a bow, and I saw a note that says seek up, but I don't think you have to like find a way to get up. You know, I don't know what they're talking about. Maybe they're just saying look up, but when I found it, all you had to do was get your angle right, and it's hard. But you just need him to drop. You know, you don't have to be doing a bunch of damage to him. Oh, we're almost there. You don't have to be doing a bunch of damage to him as long as he hits the ground. God, let me back up a bit. As long as he hits the ground, we can finish him off, you know. Okay. So, here you go. This is going to get you pretty cool extra board. That's carrying sovereignty. So that's that move that Rolana was doing to us, where she does that. She strikes straight down like that with a sword, and then does a swipe right after. So I don't have to tell you why that could be so damaging, right? Pretty cool. So we got that. Jump back to Church District High Road at the side of Grace. But yeah, while I was going through our notes, I obviously knew it was down there. But I read the little notes on the ground to see if there's like a better way to get to that item. And they're pretty much saying seek up. So I don't know if there's like a ledge there to make it easier, but that's just the way I've always done it. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, they're still annoying as always. I just wanted to check our outer edge where we went on up. Okay, we're good. Like I said, we're pretty much just going to be doing a circle of this place. I will usually go from the left to make a full circle. This is how I usually tackle it. So that's the entrance we want to take in, but like I said, there's going to be 2 glinting nails, which is a magic consumable. It's actually extremely lackluster, it is, but the items, we might as well pick it up, you know what I mean? Also, Greater Potentate's Cookbook 4, I do believe that's the magic pots. Yep, hefty magic pots. Then we go on over here, Starlight Shards, as always on your little chalice thing, half chalice. Like I said, we're just kind of, following it around. You can kill the wolves if you choose to do so. Eventually, this is going to wrap on over to a little graveyard. And I mean little graveyard. See right here. And I turned it to nighttime, thinking, oh, maybe there's another Lawless here. Like, I knew it was close to the other one, but, there isn't. So, that's the path. You can go in to talk to the NPC if you want, but instead, jump over this wall, follow this around, and we'll be able to pick up 2 glinting nails. It said magic consumable, letting melee builds have access to some magic. That's what I get from it, because why would a mage use a consumable when they already have the spell? You know what I mean? Feeling like, yeah, I definitely passed it. I do that sometimes. Come on, guys, we're just trying to get by. Don't piss me off now. You don't want to deal with the consequences. Yeah, there it is. Like I said, 2 glinting nails, and yeah, they're just really lackluster. I thought it was either like the widespread of nails, because there's a glintstone nail or glint nail spell that shoots like 5 and a widespread that shoot out, or I thought it was like the ricochet ones we dealt with in the catacombs the guys were using. But nope, it just fires off one single glint nail that phases out almost immediately, and it's, like I said, very lackluster. So, from here, we're going in. Alright, now make sure you grab that, and here's the door I was telling you about. So now, anytime you want to come back here, you can, because you're the side of Grace. And you have, the door unlocked, because it's not going to unlock from this side. So, like I said, the side door, you'll be able to get in here, talk to the NPC, but you will not be able to fast travel back. So, go talk to him.
We don't often receive visitors. I am Emir. Welcome to Manus Meta. It is a pleasure to have you. In lands so forsaken as these, chance encounters are precious indeed. Allow me to
He's a rhymer.
The occasion. with a modest offering.
So that's a whole laden necklace. That is a key item, quest item. You need that for the finger ruins and then the ruins map. So, pull up the ruins map. Bottom left is the Cerulean Coast. You can kind of tell from the shape of it. And then at the top right is the finger ruins. So, you don't have to worry about studying that and trying to figure it all out because you have me. But pretty much, the map is kind of just showing Cerulean Coast here. When you get to the Cerulean Coast, how you get to the finger ruins is kind of just take this beach and climb over the structure and it leads you down. But there's like virtually nothing here. There's one place we could duplicate boss remembrances and a coffin, and then you just use the whole laden necklace here and it gets you a talisman. And that's it. That's the first part of his quest. And then we'll have to use it here once we get to this part. But that's what I said. Let's go and break the Great Rune and talk to him. So with him, we could do the finger ruins. With the Great Rune broken, we could have access to this area. Because before then, it's just locked out. It won't let you access it. So we're all set up for that. And the only thing left to do is finish this dialogue and we can go down. However, this section, now this isn't really the Shadow Keep. It's the church district of the Shadow Keep. It's its own thing. Now it does lead to the main tower over here. However, we're not going to do that yet, but we are going to do this section as it's an optional area which leads to a very secret boss. So, we're already over here anyways, might as well go and do it. And we do get some good stuff here, guys.
The map I gave you charts the site of a hallowed ruin. It is said that after sounding the hanging bell there, one's fate will be guided by the stars. I only wish to be of service, to help those who fight for their purpose. I'm not mistaken, am I? I can see it in your eyes. You are a fighter, are you not? Is something I've given you a map to the hallowed ruin? Oh, I suppose you expect a lesson of me, do you? I know the feeling. Those with purpose are nothing if not ravenous for power.
For truth. So he's just going to give you the same sorcerers from the base game. Glintstone Pebble, Great Glintstone Shard, Glintblade Phalanx, Carrying Retaliation, and Miriam's Vanishing. Now, it's not like you can get these all at the start, but throughout the entirety of the base game, you have access to all these spells.
I, too, am a glintstone sorcerer. We study the stars and examine the life therein. Are you familiar with our findings? Long ago, we began as stardust, born of a great rupture far across the skies. We, too, are children of the greater will. Is that not divine? Is that not sublime? And yet, none can fathom its implications. Its utter brilliance. Oh, yes. Do mind your feet around the church.
You wouldn't want to hurt the little boy. Yeah, that's really creepy, and we'll get into that later. But for now, we can go ahead over here to... before we do that, let's go ahead and end Moore's quest and get you guys a shield. It might help. We're about to fight our first Fire Knight. These enemies are extremely formidable. Probably the second hardest enemies in the game, and most people probably say the first. So if you didn't count the Horned Crucible dudes and the Legacy Dungeon, they're undoubtedly the hardest enemy in the game. Undoubtedly so. There's nothing that comes close to them. They're extremely hard. Extremely hard. And the only thing you got to do is just really get familiar with their movesets. There's no shortcuts. There's no, hey, just use this on them. And we could probably get creative with weapons, but you're just going to have to learn their movesets. That's really what it comes down to, in my opinion.
Don't feel it. It's broken. Kind Miquella's light is gone, but I stand tall. Together, we work together. For Miquella the Kind.
So like I said, the Great Rune is broken. His influence has been lifted off everybody, so everyone deals with it in their own way. So, Moore's furthest away, so let's start with him. We're going to start working our way through all of them.
I don't
talk to Moore.
Know what to do. Our mother abandoned her brood. She did not love us. We are her children. What should we do? Must we be sad forever?
Okay, so your first big choice to be made. You tell Moore to put it behind you. You're not going to get anything for now. This is the long way to do his quest. And right before the last boss of the whole DLC, There's gonna be a huge group fight with all the NPCs. More will be there. And then after he's killed, you'll get his armor, and you will also get his shield. But you could also tell him to remain sad forever, which we are going to suggest for walkthrough perspective, so people actually have time with the armor and have time with the shield, and it really might help them, especially with the next area we're going to. So like I said, if it's your first playthrough, if you're not doing a walkthrough and like a blind playthrough, I'd say put it behind you so you can see this cool ass battle at the end. But from where I'm standing, I say it's best to get the equipment from these NPC quest lines to actually help us get through the DLC. So walkthrough perspective, remain sad forever.
Sad. Forever. Sad. Forever and ever.
Alright.
Goodbye.
He's about done. Like, he's about to die, so with that choice, if you want anything from him, buy it now. If not, we're gonna get his bell burn. Then we can talk to Ansbach.
Kindly Miquella has discarded his great rune. The fog that vexed my aging faculties has been lifted, and follies better left forgotten haunt me once again. Once, in an attempt to free Lord Moog from his enchantment, I challenged tender Miquella, only to have my own heart rather artfully stolen. I knew not how weak I was. I believed that with sufficient mastery, even an Empyrean would be within reach of my blade. I could not have been more mistaken. Miquella the Kind is a monster, pure and radiant. He wields love to shrive clean the hearts of men. There is nothing more terrifying. Righteous tarnished, Miquella the Kind makes my blood run cold. I am loath to admit it. But even at this very instant, I wish to run very far away indeed.
So he's actually scared of Miquella. You know, Miquella the Kind, alright, yeah.
Righteous, I am...
Okay, so we got them caught up. Now from here, we're going to get back into the NPC quest lines, but first of all, let's jump over here to High Road Cross. And we're not even going to talk to Letta or Hornsent just yet. We need to go grab Moore's armor. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So if you go and visit the Forager Brood that we healed, that's where you're going to find, you know, just Moore's dead body slumped over the pest over there. Like I told everybody at the start, you know, 30, 40 hours to the DLC is very much worth your money. For me, it was more like 60 or 70 to find all this shit. You know what I mean? It was, and some of this, and I honestly, I'm really hoping I found everything. I think I have, you know, but it is hard to say. With everything it took just to find this kind of stuff. Like my only, when I was going around looking for more stuff, because I figured you have two options, right? One cheers him up, the other one makes him sad. You figure he's gonna die. So I had to go every Forager Brood, and this one I actually forgot was up here. So, you know, like I ran all the way over here to the one that was, you know, in this back area at the top, all the way over there, and to this one over here, to the one all the way over here, and I just forgot about this one. So like I said, I hope we found everything, but I'm pretty sure we did. So it's this bell bearing, verdigris, shield, helm, armor, gauntlets, and greaves. So this shield's badass for strength builds. I do believe it'll help people out a lot. Fucking hell of a great shield. Guard boost is absolutely insane. At 82 unupgraded, guys. 82 guard boost. Now this is, you know, really just gonna be for strength boys or quality boys, but you know, I do think it's a good option that'll help people out. So, and you'll be able to have access to it sooner. And not to mention his armor, the poise is at 47 just on that, and 15. You know, another 15 with the helm, another 10 with the gauntlets, another 28 with the greaves. So, you know, one of the best armors in the game for sure. Quite a bit of immunity as well. But yeah, you know, I do feel like this may help people, so I wanted to bring it up. Now, we can jump over to High Road Cross, talk to Letta, talk to Hornsent. Now, this shit's gonna change a lot. So now Hornsent wants to go hunt down Mesmer for what he did to the Tower folk.
Intriguing. What remains there to be said? Do you presume us allies even now? Though Miquella's spell is newly broken, I must profess, the spell mattered little. Uphold his covenant, Miquella shall, and in godhood redeem our rueful clan. Then Marika and vilest erdtree both will at last be from divinity wrenched. And surely, contented I will be. But first, clear resounds the call of vengeance. The Impaler, Mesmer, must pay his due in vengeance for the flames. My blade I wield. How could I allow myself to forget? Revenge alone assures me peace of mind. Think not to hinder me upon my path, lest you too wish to face the reckoning.
Yeah, so we're obviously gonna kill him. So Letta, with the spell broken, doesn't believe everyone's true followers of Miquella. She kind of wants to know. She's gonna ask us, who should she hunt? Really, that's what she's really asking. Tolier or Hornset. But Tolier is so infatuated with Trina, Saint Trina, which is another part of Miquella. She knows that Tolier is not, the one who would ever turn on them. So she's gonna try to hunt Hornset. So when we go back here to the, which I'd love to do right now for this weapon, I really would, but we gotta wait. Just walk through, not a personal playthrough, but work our way through here. Eventually, you're gonna get to an area. It's like right on top of this, I think. And you're gonna have 2 summon signs. You could help him kill Letta and get a really cool Astral Board that's probably the most devastating Astral Board in the game. Or you could help her kill him and we get his curved swords. You see there, the Valks. They're really badass curved swords with a lot of bleed, but the Astral Board just like wails repeatedly on people. Pop, 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 left hand, right hand, just coming down, which will get the blood loss off fast. Not the highest base damage, but really impressive weapon nonetheless. And we'll get to that, but that's kind of, and like I said, then, that's one way it could play out by making a choice between which summon sign to use. But then you could do both of them, and them and more will all be in this NPC fight at the end. Whoever you kill off, or whatever happens, they'll just be missing from that fight when it plays out.
Oh, hello. Did you feel it? Miquella the Kind's enchantment appears to have broken, but while my devotion to kindly Miquella remains unchanged, by my troth I am not so sure about the others. No, wait. Perhaps this is a blessing in disguise. I can wield my sword to cull the undeserving, those unfit to bask in tender Miquella's presence. I should have thought of this earlier. Right. It's time to begin ferreting out those of us who don't deserve to be at kindly Miquella's side.
So you can suggest Tolier, it's not going to matter. She's pretty much just set on Hornset. So if you suggest Tolier, she's just going to talk you out of that. So just suggest Hornset.
On one hand, he trusts Miquella the Kind to bring salvation to his people. With the enchantment lifted, his vengeful passions may once again ignite. But surely he'd be mindful of kindly Miquella's promise. On the other hand, the Hornset does present his own dangers. Perhaps your concerns are well-founded after all. Allow me some time to mull it over.
Alright, so she's going to want to mull it over. If you didn't talk to the Hornset, you just talk to her. She'll just keep repeating herself. But if you rest after you talk to the Hornset, he's going to go ahead and jump to the Shadow Keep.
Ah, there you are.
Now her dialogue will change.
It took me long enough, I know. But I've made my decision. I believe it wisest to eliminate the Hornset. If he were to point his blade at Sir Mesmer or Queen Marika, perhaps it would not matter, but vengeance changes a man. And one day, his blade may turn towards Miquella the Kind. Kindly Miquella is, after all, the true golden child. Even if he discards every last drop of his being, his lineage will always remain. I believe the Hornset suspects what I have in mind. He never placed his full trust in me, even under the effect of kindly Miquella's spell. He must have recognized something. The scent of the killer that slept within me, the stench of crusted blood. I will follow the Hornset. To have his revenge on Sir Mesmer, there is only one place he will go, the Black Keep. I will follow the Havage of the Black Keep.
Okay, so we're all caught up there. And like I said, we can, progress through the Shadow Keep now. get up to that invasion and get that weapon, but we're just not there yet, guys, to be honest. However, we are going to go do the optional side, the optional section of the Shadow Keep. But before we do that, we have one last NPC to talk to. That's totally a spell has been lifted. And so I keep forgetting he's not a girl, but
Are you not affected? Even with the spell broken, I'm feeling rather lost. Haunted by memories of St. Trina. Her visage, her scent, the lure of velvety sleep. Would kindly miquella chasten me for falling for St. Trina, while knowing that she was the discarded half? The problem is, I simply cannot help it. I would sacrifice everything just to gaze upon her one last time.
so there's nothing else. Let's go and rest because we have been to the Cerulean Coast. I'm pretty sure you have to actually get down in the hole before he'll move on. But usually just when you see
I'm
the
feeling
Cerulean
rather
Coast.
lost. Haunted by memory of St. Trina.
Yeah, so you actually got to go in the hole before he moves on. So, like I said, with that, jump back up to the Church District High Road. How much time do we have left in this episode, guys? 41 minutes. So I don't think we're going to have enough time to get through this place enough to get up to, we'll have to start, there's a side of grace, so we're going to get up there before we close out the episode. But I'm going to start fresh on a new episode because we're not going to have enough time to drain this place. We have to go drain all the water and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And navigate this place once while the water's there, then again while the water has been drained to get up to our next true side of grace and knock out shortcuts and stuff like that. So we're going to wait till the next episode, but for now we're going to at least run up, get the side of grace, and there's one item we can go ahead and grab before we close on out. It won't matter to you guys because all these episodes will be posted the same day, so you guys aren't going to have to wait till the next day for anything. I'll always at least finish the area the same day on my episodes, so I don't leave no one hanging. But as soon as you get here, just run, jump on this roof. Now, going straight forward and progressing to those other rooftops and kind of going up those, you know, the walkways there onto that roof, that's, you know, the way to progress. However, we are going to drain this place, so anything on the rooftops you're not going to have access to. So before we close out, we're just going to go, you know, you drop straight and then just go to the left. Now you're going to hear these splashes and see branches moving. There are not one, but two ulcerated tree spirits down here. And when we drain the water, we have to take them both out. One gives us a quest item. Then one gives us a spell that's actually really cool. It like covers your body in thorns. You can roll into people. Great blood loss. Pretty wild. But we can go over here for a great grave glowwort. Like I said, after you drain this, you're not going to have access to get back up here again, guys. So make sure you get that. Just got to fast travel back to Church District entrance. Side of Grace. And we'll go ahead and close up here. So moving forward, we're going to have to fight some Fire Knights. I told you guys, these are really formidable enemies. So whether you want a Great Shield, or I do believe a weapon that attacks fastly is just going to be good. You know, we'll work our way up to the first one real quick, and then close it out. So you guys just have an idea of what we're going to be up to. So these guys are extremely formidable from range, and they're even more formidable close up. So there's no way to really play this fight safe. From range, he's going to cast the same fireballs that Quillen was using. And if you guys remember, they kind of target you and follow you around. To run, jump. There's got to be some putrid corpses that like to explode, and one will even try to push you in the water, which that's obviously going to kill you. So be careful for that. About knocked me off. Yeah, like I said, this guy's dangerous from range. He's dangerous up close. So with our upgrades, he's not. But the first playthrough I came here, I didn't have as many upgrades. And pretty much 2 hits from a dagger would kill you. Like, every time he hits you once with his dagger, it'd take half your health. And he'll just spin around and pop, 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 spin around and spin around. Like, he has a lot of endurance. He can pretty much do whatever the hell he wants for whatever reason. He's got fireballs from range. daggers up close. He also leads out an arc of fire that do a lot of damage when you're up close. You gotta watch out for that. He's got a lot going on, guys. Like I say, he's very, very dangerous. This is our first one before we close on out. I would like to show his moveset. This one's actually one of the weaker versions. So, really the best thing to do is just learn his moveset here, guys. And we're already almost dead. You see what I'm saying? This guy is not a joke. Yeah, he's got that. TJOE. And he just stays on you because his legs are extremely hard. Especially for a basic enemy. And at first, your first playthrough, it's probably going to take almost all your heals to get past one of these guys. When we get to the tower, we're going to be fighting fucking, like, I don't know, 20 of these guys at once. So, as you see, we start with 12 heals. We use 5 heals on an enemy I'm actually comfortable with because I fought him so much. But at first, I was like, man, this guy's just ruining my experience with the game. Like, straight up. Because, like I said, it takes so much just to get past one of them. And he just keeps going and going. Like, he's not pausing. If he's not attacking with melee, he's casting spells. You know, like, he's always doing something. He's really hard. Just keep your patience trying to rage. I know he's going to make you want to rage. Good methods for taking them out. I mean, I always will suggest stick with your build and just learn the enemy's movesets, right? With that being said, I had a lot of luck when on my own playthrough. With my own playthrough, I had a lot of luck with this. I was just trying to get creative to get past these guys, and it was hell. So repeating thrust, cold affinity worked out pretty well. As you know, they're fire type enemies, so they're going to take increased frostbite damage. And repeating thrust, stay on them and kind of deal with them like that. That's kind of what I came up with. So if you're struggling, I would recommend this. I mean, we all have the light greatsword. Stat requirements are pretty low. And over here, it's not like you need a bunch of scaling on whatever weapon you're using because you have your fragments, right? So do keep that in mind. But yeah, this is what I was doing to deal with this asshole. Just don't give him a second, you know. Just get up on his ass. And then take it. Usually after a duo proc. See? Like, we hardly even got touched. That's just like a good tactic to get through them, you know. Personally, like I said, I would recommend just using whatever build you're using, whatever weapon you're using. You like it, you put that build together, so use it, you know. Just because this enemy's tough, you shouldn't change up your whole play style. But, you know, like I said, walkthrough perspective, it's, you know, it's kind of like my job to show you guys different strategies and techniques for us to make everyone's time much easier, right? So. And we might use that since it is the walkthrough. It's extremely effective. But, you know, just do whatever feels best for you guys. You know, it's good. It is important to still learn his movesets. Because we're going to be fighting a ton of these guys. Like I said, and that's what's so frustrating. It's like, you know, you're going through, using up all your heals fighting one. Then we get to this tower over here eventually. And there's like 20 of them in there. You know what I mean? So it's just, you're like, what the fuck? But usually you're able to get backstabs and stuff like that on them. So, you know, we'll get there when we get there, but it was worth a mention. So, you might want to get creative dealing with these guys. Like I said, they're quite challenging. Either way, guys, we have the Great Rune broken. We have talked to the NPC. So we're all good to go to the Cerulean Coast. However, next episode, we will be going through the Sunken Chapel down here and clearing all this stuff up. You know, working our way through the first half, then draining the water. Doing the second half, leading on out to a remembrance boss. I don't know if we'll fit the boss in, but we're at least going to get up to him. Then if we can't fit him in, we'll have this whole, you know, this portion of the Shadow Keep completely done. And then the following episode, we'll just, you know, fight him first thing. And then probably go over here to Raw Base to knock out this optional area before we go down to the Cerulean Coast. As I want to get all of our optional areas done, so by the time we progress to Shadow Keep, the only optional stuff we'll really have to do is everything down here, and then the Jagged Peak, but we can't do the Jagged Peak until we do the Shadow Keep also, because there's a painting with to solve, and it makes the most sense to do it all at once. But you guys will see. Next episode, Church District entrance, then we'll be working our way into Raw Base. Y'all stay tuned, we'll be back here shortly.